Thank you. Well, just maybe a very small contribution to what we already heard, but I strongly believe that diversification is the magic word for the mountain tourism, because it's not only the issue of climate change, it's the issue of the jobs, of losing revenues, of potential migrations from the mountain areas. And I believe that the private sector as well as the governments have to play a very important role. First of all, there are maybe some good trends for the mountains, because we've seen yesterday one of the statements that the Mediterranean area by 2020 might be avoided because of the sun, and people are choosing more and more the mountains, the green areas. We are facing that phenomena even now. We have more and more people visiting our mountains, our national parks, not only in Montenegro but in all other regions. We in Montenegro were lucky, for example, last year, but only maybe it won't happen the next year. We had 3.5 months snow, even more than in the Alps, which sounds unbelievable. But who knows what's going to happen next year? So I believe that diversification of the product is very important. MICE market, it's one. Then active tourism and the hiking and biking market is something else. The bikers were a niche market and hikers just a few years ago. Now it's 35 million people, only the German-speaking area. And they are happy that their season is extending. They are using the ski lifts. They are trying to find as many paths as possible for biking. But what we can do is work on that, be proactive. We in Montenegro are trying now and working very seriously on a project, Montenegro Wilderness and Hiking and Biking, and we have identified 6,000 kilometers of paths and so on, with GIS and GPS and brochures, etc. Everything which is actually, you have to sell the product, which is not easy. So it is one of the products which not one single entity from the private sector can do. It has to be the government together, hand in hand with the private sector. And finally, I believe that governments should and could provide incentives for companies, for private sector entities who are investing in those areas, especially now, because when we are speaking about these kinds of tourism of products, it's environmentally friendly, it's very low CO2 emission, it's energy saving, and so on. So incentives, I believe, could be a good move. Not everywhere, because incentives are sometimes dangerous, but when we talk about this kind of tourism, I believe it's the right answer.